The TRIMUI Smart Pro is a great retro handheld, but the primary concern in its original release was its stock firmware. In the words of Redditor Parking Entrance 793, the PSP was boring, the Dreamcast was laggy, and even Gran Turismo on PS1 wasn't great. However, thanks to developers Czio64 and friends, we now have a new firmware called CrossMix OS, today looking at latest version 1.2.1, which has been highly optimized for the TSP, which we'll be taking a look at today. Big thanks to mechdiy for sending over this preloaded TRIMUI Smart Pro for us to look at today. Check out more about them in the link in the description. So today in particular we'll be looking at the Surwish CrossMix OS, quite a mouthful, which touts itself as a turnkey solution without having to worry about installation or configuration. I'll be the judge of that, thank you very much. Alright, let's power this guy up here. I already have it powered up. Okay, right at the bat, so really cool feature is that you can create collections of ROMs. And so you can see we have our Sonic, Turtles, Zelda, vertical shoot 'em ups, demo, Mario, and so if we took a look at, say, the Sonic collection here, it's broken down then by console, which is awesome, so I can see all the GBA, DS, obviously Sega, where he was born. Check out GBA. And, ooh, not Sonic Spinball, but Sonic Pinball Party. Okay, well, close. Nice. Nice, yeah, definitely some pre-configured bezels. Given the aspect ratio of the screen, makes sense they have the left and right bezels and not a big bottom bezel, as made more sense on more square screens like the SP that we looked at recently. So again, their whole goal with this, both with CrossMix OS and then especially the Surwish variant we're looking at today, is for it to be very plug and play, not having to configure cores or update emulators or set a bunch of RetroArch settings. We can just jump in and go. I have no idea what I'm doing on this game. I think it's pinball. There's a lot of storyline going on. Okay, right off the bat, I know we haven't reviewed the TRIMUI Smart Pro on this channel yet before, so this is sort of a combo review of both the OS and the Smart Pro itself, and I had the privilege of looking at it through the lens of this new open source software that supposedly is supposed to show off the hardware better than the original stock firmware. And yeah, gotta say, first few minutes with the console, obviously I've done a little bit of testing before this video, but it feels super nice. The matte plastic, the button layout, it's very familiar. I clocked a lot of time on my PSP back in the day. Dual thumbsticks, we'll be testing if those are cardinal snapping prone or not very soon. The buttons feel good, yeah, like, you know, a bit of click to them, but not in like a bad way. Triggers, yeah, also definitely some click to them, but not in a bad way. Definitely not analog triggers, but no one's really expecting those on these retro handhelds. We've got some fun I/O on the bottom, like our FN button. We'll be looking at that in a second for how we can configure that. Obviously RGBs that I'm sure we can configure, but let's go ahead and hit our menu button here and let's see what we got. Ooh, very cool. This is like a nice, I presume advanced menu is the actual RetroArch menu. Over here, oh nice, yeah, we've got a quick, like streamlined save load states. That's really nice. And then if I hit advanced menu, yeah, and we're in our RetroArch, I can see that I was using the MGBA core. See all the settings. Oh yeah, I love when we use this driver for the RA settings, just the PS3 the PS3 vibe is delightful. Awesome, yeah, definitely liking this collections feature. Ooh yeah, Sonic Classic Collection, Sonic Rush Adventure. I believe the Surwish variant of CrossMix is they're boasting 15,000 ROMs are available on this guy, so up to you on how you utilize that, but regardless, I just love what they're doing with these collections here. Like this, I'll be definitely adding my my Donkey Kong collection, because you know your boy loves his Donkey Kong games. Oh my gosh, the RGB is configured based on the collection. Red for Mario, blue for Sonic, green for Turtles. Yeah, this definitely isn't on accident. Gold for Zelda. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. So this is pretty cool. So they have a way you can break down the ROMs further for more organization. So if you have some like modern respins on games, translation of games, I believe there's a folder for ROM hacks too. Those can be sorted down into those folders, possibly automatically, or you can set it. Maybe there's a way that it detects it. But yeah, once we have those massive lists of ROMs, anything to tidy them up a little more is much appreciated. A little GB test here. See what our... Ooh, I like that. Yeah, obviously it's a very square screen. Nice, they have the BIOS there. Yeah, love Love when they have the BIOSes, you know me. I love that as close to console experience. Yeah, that's another boast on this OS. Every BIOS, that file that you would want, is already included, as well as all the emulators are pretty well configured already, both in performance and look and feel, and as you can see, overlays and colors. Like this is how I want to play GB. Like I know you can recolorize it and you can you know, make it black and white and all that, but I like to play Game Boy games like they looked on my actual DMG, which is, everything is very green. Wow. Dying on level 1. Good job. Push it here. Let's go straight to the handheld killer. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, sure. I'll play Smash Bros. If you say so. Okay, out of the box Smash Bros. As you guys know, if you've been watching the series, I've had to reconfigure Smash Bros. On, I think, all of the handhelds, the RG35XX-SP, the 40XX-H and V. I've had to do quite a bit of tweaking to get good 64 performance, but this is looking real nice. FPS counter is on. I'm getting a clean 60 here. What core are we using before I proceed, just so I can know? Okay, using Parallelly. Okay, yeah. Which is funny, because Parallelly did not play ball very well on the RG40XX-V. So let's hop into a match and see what we get. We have some cool bezels here. I think the ring around it is just some 64 emulator glitchiness, but that kind of is always there when you emulate on handhelds like this, but I'll take it. I will be Morlo. His face is not rendering, but that's not the end of the world. It's rough for him. Still 60, 52, back to 60. Dip to 40. That pipe going through the stage, I don't believe is supposed to be there. I'll overlay the specs on the screen right now. I believe these are rocking a bit more juice than the current series of Anbernic handhelds like the SP, H, and V, but I think we're all roughly in the same ballpark. Pretty positive we're dealing with the same amount of RAM. Oh yeah, definitely some glitchiness there. And that explosion, yeah, you can see a lot of artifacting, things being drawn where they shouldn't be drawn. So this is running very well. I will give it that for sure. Yeah, it's running at a pretty smooth 60, but there's definitely some corners being cut in the rendering here. Okay, let's try Glide 64 and HLE. So far we've got a black bar around the edges and not just a bunch of pixelation, so that's an improvement. Still a clean 60. Okay. Let's see if my boy Mario gets a face. Okay, that loaded in a lot slower. Dropping way down to 24, 23. Oh, that animation took way too long. Way too long to load. So, not those settings. X is our button. Cool. So we have Parallelly Moving. Standalone cores. I love standalone cores. Those always perform way better. Okay, I think this is the playable setting king. Mario has a face. Things are smooth. Audio is good. And we're still inside RetroArch, so that's a win. Which is funny. I don't know why I didn't try this config right away, because this is exactly the config that was my best bet on the RG40XX-V in last week's video, which was just to set it to default settings inside RetroArch and then set it to the Mupen 64 Plus core and not parallel. So cool, I guess. Yay, consistency in solutions. That's cool. I've been told that there are multiple ways I can access the file system from the network, including SMTP2Go, which is the web-based file browser that MuOS uses, which I love so much, and you know that I hold that feature in very high esteem. A lot of these features are better documented, by the way, in the manual documentation in the description, and that will also mention features that I just won't have time or remember to cover in this video, so definitely check out that that latest and greatest info in those links. Hotspot. Can I hotspot? Can I share my Wi-Fi after I've created the Wi-Fi? Oh, can I connect to an access point and then hotspot to someone else and they can just connect to me and I can do multiplayer through NetPlay? Is that how that works? That's sick. Ooh, there's a lot in here. Network. Hey, SFTP2Go. Enable, please. Oh, yeah. Ooh. Yay. Okay. SFTP2Go. Fantastic. There is a username and password that that is in the documentation. So let me just go and reference that. The default username and password are just TRIMUI. Let's punch that in right there. Boom! I can access the root and the SD card, which I want to do. I can see my files. Fantastic. While we're in here, we have a boatload of tools that have been added by CrossMix OS. We can see we have some overlay tools, auto load state. Games will automatically resume from where you last played when launching. That's cool. Advanced theme stuff, user interface management apps, lots of customizations. That's super useful. Ooh, it's got Sync Thing. That's fantastic. I need to dig into Sync Thing and set one up on my local network, but if you don't know, it basically lets you sync your save files between all of your various devices, especially useful for all of your retro game saves. And I believe Retro Game Corp did a great deep dive video on this exact app, so definitely check that video out if you want to know more about that. Yeah, I've got much better control. Given how big the joysticks are, way more control over these than I did with the Ambernic H and V. Let's look at a few more of these apps. Ooh, we've got a full-on screen recorder. That's cool. Let's give that a try. Press A to start recording. So that's just going now. That's sweet. That's great for, yeah, gameplay and all that. We can set our FN key setting, which is that little switch down here. And so it looks like when it's turned on, you can tell that to turn off the LEDs. Set it to CPU performance mode. Ooh, maybe I should have done that for for Smash Bros. Would recommend that to get the most out of your handheld if you're not too worried about battery life. You can set it to a turbo, power save, silent mode, quiet mode, LED off. Very cool, very cool. We can change the boot logo. A scraper, that's awesome. One that a lot of us will love is good old Portmaster. Let's just take a look at this guy. And I believe Portmaster was one of the ones that CrossMix really amps up. And at the very least, Surwish beefs up by preloading with a lot of the open source free ones that you can hop into. And so this is the UI for grabbing new ports from Portmaster, but let's take a look at playing some of the Portmaster ports. This comes preloaded with a number of them. I'm going to take a look at one that I already own, which is the beloved Stardew Valley. Launching Stardew Valley. If this breaks and doesn't launch right away, I'm actually rather glad, because that probably means that the next step is for me to put my legally owned game files in there, which I haven't done yet. So if this does launch, that means that this is shipping with a little more than it should. It's a big debate, but it's kind of one thing when games are 30 years old. It's another when they're, 3 years old. But yeah, that's not launching, so that's super okay with me. But you know what is on here, though, is the native port of Super Mario 64. And let's give that a spin. A little loud there, Mario. Oof, that is glossy. Oh, that spin and animation is just so silky smooth on the native port. Oh man. Yeah, thank you to everyone who worked on this port. I haven't personally played it a lot, because the only way that I can really beat this game is with aggressively save stating and unsave stating to get through some of these levels. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's so silky. So silky smooth. Yeah, this just feels good to see. There are some Portmaster titles that don't run on the TSP, and that's because Allwinner didn't provide certain libraries for this GPU, and you can check out the compatibility list linked in the description. But I mean, running the Mario 64 port on a modern PSP handheld makes me a happy camper. I can't resist this any further. I need to try out Moonlight on this guy and see if he actually works. Okay, so it wants the IP address of the gaming PC, in this case, my Ally. So we'll run Sunshine. That's really the only time I want these things to have touchscreens, is for typing in information. Like the Nintendo Switch has a touchscreen, but I never use it except for when I'm punching in information. Ah, dang. Pairing, we've got a pin, excellent. Proceed. Big bucks, no Emmys. Oh ho ho ho! We've got Moonlight, baby. Fan-frickin-tastic. Looks a little frozen on this guy. Did Moonlight bring it to its knees? Did Moonlight kill it?
One reboot later.
Alright, I'm a glutton for punishment. Let's try Moonlight one more time. I'm seeing the desktop. If I minimize this window here, I am seeing things. Okay, I won't get crazy. I'm just gonna play Retro Kart Rush first, which, if you don't know, is a lovely game that was developed in Godot and runs silky smooth. It's as if Super Mario Kart for SNES was remade today. Okay, this is feeling good. It's feeling snappy. Go, let's go, let's go. Yeah. This is what I want to see. Drift King. Oh, it was looking so good, and then we drive into a barrel. Isn't that just life? But what is the point of Moonlight but to run systems seemingly kind of on a handheld that really shouldn't run those systems? Yes, that's right. Let's play some Switch games. Breath of the Wild is loading. Let's go. And yes, my physical copy of Breath of the Wild is just in the next room. Oh, baby. Oh. Continue. Yes. Oh, we've got Moonlight going in its full glory of playing Switch games on a retro handheld through another handheld that is already OP, but hey, it's Breath of the Wild running on a little PSP form factor thing, and I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot. I just remembered that I was running that screen recorder in the background last time, so maybe that was screwing up my original Moonlight attempt, so I don't know, we'll chalk it up to a one-off bug, but oh, there we are. And that is playable, my friend. Minor stutters. Looking pretty clean. Obviously, this could be a more optimized setup. I could have the host machine be a little beefier desktop that's hardwired to Ethernet, and so then it's only down to the internet connection to this guy. So there's a few points where bottlenecks could occur, but this is very playable. I'm just gonna run through the forest. I haven't picked up this save file in quite a while, so I don't really know what I'm doing at this point in the game. One day I'll beat Breath of the Wild. Oh, I have a sword. Oh yeah, that's right. At any time you can hit menu and search, and then let's say I wanted to find Donkey Kong's. Nice. But yeah, I know for a fact that a number of you have chosen to stick with the Anbernic stock firmware just to keep that search feature there, so this is really nice to see. And then being that we're on this PSP form factor, I don't think we can go without trying out PSP games itself and how those look and feel out of the box. So let's take a look there. PS1 I'm not worried about at all, given that it was able to run 64 games quite smoothly, albeit with a bit of playing around with core options. Let's do some Ridge Racer. Just a little crunchy in the audio there, but not bad. Again, this is the out-of-the-box settings, which they both should be point and shoot. Okay, that's a little rough. Okay, yeah, that's probably it. We're pushing it a little bit, running that at 2x res. So I'll keep frame skipping off, but I'll run it at 1x res, and that should help us a lot. Still getting some stutters there, like I had to do for the Anbernic consoles. Let's just do a little bit of frame skip. Woo! There we go. I don't know what I'm doing, but I think I'm doing a pretty good job. All right, we're flying now. 47, 48 FPS, 45. So yeah, as you usually have to do with these handhelds, 1x resolution PSP, little bit of frame skip. We just dropped to 32 while I was up on that wall. So yeah, still maybe not like the most optimized, but definitely playable, especially if you want to be a little more aggressive with the frame skip. Oh, you know what? I think we do need to try out Episode 1 Racer, Star Wars Episode 1 Racer for Dreamcast. I think we have to get a little Dreamcast in. Now that we're in gameplay, this is feeling very smooth. We are whipping. Now this is pod racing. Maybe we'll cut that from the video. Yeah, I gotta say, this is a good feeling OS. I really love that it added working Moonlight, web file management. I don't know if I can say that everything is set and forget and that you'll never need to tweak a thing. Obviously, I had to tweak a few things, but for most people, this might be all you need. And I'd say they got me at least 90% there, which is pretty good. I appreciate the help. And all that on top of features they packed in here, like, you know, extra Portmaster refinements and the screen recorder. And again, I recommend checking out the links in the description to see all the cool features that CrossMix OS added to this handheld. But I think my final verdict is that I'm very happy to have this in the arsenal, and I think we'll be playing a few more titles in this guy. I think he's gonna work his way to the rotation. Thanks again, mechdiy, for sending this guy over, and if you want to grab one for yourself, check the link in the description and use promo code RT10 to get 10% off all purchases on the site. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Subscribe to help the channel and to tell me to keep making more videos like this, and I'll see you next week.